It's like the best video ever.
This is great.
We got 25 minutes. We gotta go. Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday. Hump day.
Up day. What is going on, Janelle?
Go like that.
Oh yeah, we gotta. No.
Oh man. Okay. I am excited for today. Welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us today. Happy Wednesday, Jeannie. We're looking forward to continuing our conversations that we have every Wednesday with you all. And so today's topic.
Oh, hold on, Jay. Before you get into that, guys, if you did not see last week's episode, if you did not see, seriously, you have to go and check out last week's episode. I was absolutely, first off, for the first half, I was completely stunned, quieted the whole episode. And then we got to really open up on our Patreon later on.
Oh, yeah.
So if you didn't go see last week's episode, definitely go see that. And if you have not yet started to become a community member of our Patreon, guys, you have to listen to what Rochelle shared on Patreon. Mind blown. I had a list of questions. She answered every single one of them. I mean, she's my appreciation for what nonprofits are. It just, again, you got to go check it out. I didn't want to jump in. I didn't want to cut in on the time today, but guys, that's how blown away I was. And to have a front seat because I actually get to be on the show, it was a blessing. So shout outs to Rachel, Statement Junkie. If you haven't donated last week, definitely go watch the episode so you'll understand what you're donating to. And my bad, Jenna, go ahead. I just had to get that out. I've been waiting all week. I've literally been waiting just to share that. So definitely go check that out and go check us out on Instagram, and you'll see a little bit of the episode.
Yeah, 100%. I look out for some bloopers that are coming through.
Oh, yeah.
I thank you for saying that, Winston, because I feel the same way. It was an amazing episode. Yeah, so much value. And what you really don't know, I mean, for those of you that are out there now, like, community members are getting the juice. Like, they're getting the extra juice.
That tea that Janelle likes to tell me about. They're getting that tea out there. All right, let's get back on track. Today's question. Let's get that drum roll. Boom.
Today's question is developing a why a must for building a massive team in network marketing? 25 minutes on the clock. We gotta go. All right. So you know what? I will let you answer this first, Winston, since I did a lot of talking last week. I
appreciate that. And I'm actually gonna go with no. And here's why. So I actually love this question. If you are in, and I can't just say network marketing, but in business, in life, I think there's obviously been a huge movement. If you're into personal development, you often hear them discuss what this why, having this deep burning desire, this why that will move.
Simon Sinek,
absolutely start with why. I wish we actually should have gotten a picture of that book, but Simon Sinek, Start With Why, amazing book. And what to specifically answer the question, the reason why I'm going to say no is I think the secret to building, or not secret really, but the reality of building a massive team in network marketing or in any business is simply duplication. Creating processes that allow for someone to come in, quickly understand what their role is, how they can play a part in it, and then execute on that. Why I think a why is important is to keep you doing that when it doesn't seem like it's working. That's where I think a why is integral in building any business. Is when it doesn't seem like it's working, people aren't buying. If in our industry, the people aren't signing up, if the team isn't growing, what keeps you going? What keeps you on the line? One of our mentors talks about, moving back, being pulled back behind that line, having the naysayers, the dream stealers pull you back to their side of the line instead of you being the one that treads forward and moves forward. And so I've always thought, and I'll say this because we, in our first company, we built a fairly sizable team. And for me, I've still to this day struggled with having what I would consider a why that makes me cry, as corny as that sound, or something that keeps me up at night. I still just haven't found that. Now, that massive word is probably the difference. But I can tell you that I know a lot of leaders that I don't know. I don't necessarily always know their whys. Some of them are very vocal in what it is that their why is and why they're doing what they're doing. And then others still have massive teams. I'm sure maybe within themselves they understand that why, but they don't share that with the team, as far as I understand. So I don't think everyone's bought into that. So again, personally, I don't think it's a necessity to building a team. I think ultimately duplication is what's going to help you build a massive team in network marketing. Because if I can come in, I sign up day one, and I know what I need to do. I know a system. You tell me about trainings, and you promote me to those things, and you lead me to that. I think that's going to take me further than Janelle's why, for instance. I don't think Janelle's why is what's going to help me, go out there and do something. But that's just my take on it. What do you say, Jay?
It's interesting. Your distinction is necessary. Let's just say that. I like the distinction that you made in terms of where the why becomes useful. Your why is what keeps you going. When things are tough, when you don't feel like doing this anymore, when you just feel like going to sleep or watching Netflix, the thing that keeps you going, when you don't feel like talking to people, when you don't feel, and I'm sure a bunch of people are just like, that's me, I don't feel like talking to anybody. You don't feel like talking to people. When you don't feel like lifting somebody else up on the team, when you don't feel like encouraging, when you don't feel like inspiring, when you don't feel like pushing or leading, when you don't feel like doing any of that, the thing that makes you do it is your why. I would agree with that 100%. And so to create a big team, you need to do things that you normally wouldn't want to do, right? You need to do things, right? What's the saying? Do things that others
won't, so you can live the life that others
don't.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Or can't, really, sadly.
Right. So, and that's not just network marketing, right? I mean, I don't even know how many times I've heard of other entrepreneurs out there, whether it's Gary Vee. I know I listened to somebody on Instagram. His name is Prince Donnell. And just like other like entrepreneurs out there who are constantly reminding me, anyway, I'm sure many other people, that you need to put in a significant amount of effort. And if you treated your business or your side hustle, and in many of our cases, those of you who are listening, if you treated your network marketing business like your job, right, it would pay you like a business. Most people don't, because they don't want to go to training. They don't want to lead other people to training. They don't feel like talking to people. They don't feel like doing all these other things. And so without the why, to remind you of why you're doing these things, without the why, you won't do them. And so a big team, ultimately, the end result is you won't have a big team. And so I really like your distinction about it, because it's not that, okay, I have a why, so I'm going to have a big team. Like, it's not that. It's not like the why big team, right?
Yeah.
It's the why helps you to do the things the little things, the little everyday little things that help you to eventually have the big team. So I, like you, think this question is really interesting. And I'm actually so glad that you went first to make the distinction, because I think I probably would have been like, yeah, it's absolutely necessary, but like wouldn't have made that distinction, which is really, really important. And this is, I mean, with any business, any business, it's not just network marketing. Like, in order to do the things that you need to do, like, you have to treat your business like a 9 to 5. I heard a great story. It's actually about Eminem, the rapper, not the candy.
Not the candy. I love that you thought you had to explain that. For anyone, drop it in the comment. If you thought just now when Janelle said not Eminem, you thought the candy, you thought she was going to tell you a story about the candy, please drop that in the comment. Because I would love to send you a gift from
Eminem.
The rapper.
The rapper.
The rapper.
So when he was he has collaborated with God knows how many different artists, right? Like he's done a lot of different collaborations. And so this was somebody else he was collaborating with. And he talks about M's work ethic. And he said he got to the studio, like he knew he was going to work with him like tomorrow. Let's say tomorrow's the day he's going to work with him. And he like hits him up and he's like, hey, like I'm looking forward to seeing the studio. He's like, all right, me too. I'm going to get there. Like, he's like, what time are you going to get there? And he's like, yeah, I'm going to get there at 9. And his collaborator was like 9, like AM. He's like 9. What are you talking about? Okay, like I guess I'll see you there, but like didn't even like believe it. Like was kind of like so he shows up not at 9. He shows up I think like 9:30. So he shows up a little bit later, not even really believing that Eminem was going to be there. He gets there. Not only is Eminem there, he's already in the studio working. Yeah. Like on the mic, doing things, whatever, producing, whatever he was doing, right? So he's already working. And he's like, oh man, like dude is like really, like really here. So, you know, and he's collaborating, right? Like the energy is good, it's positive, right? So they go in, they do their thing. And then 12 o'clock comes and he's like, all right, I'm gonna go for Eminem says to his collaborator, all right, I'm gonna go for lunch. You want anything? I guess. He's like, all right, I'm gonna be back in an hour. Okay. Legit goes for an hour to have lunch. God knows where that was, but it was his lunch hour. And he came back an hour later, came back and then worked until 5. 5 o'clock came. He was like, all right, this has been amazing. You know, if we need to do this tomorrow, let's do this tomorrow. But I think we might have what we need today. And then he was like, wait, you're really leaving? Yeah, I'm out. It's 5 o'clock. I'm out. And left. He's like, this guy treats his craft like a job, and that is why he is so successful. I remember hearing that story and being so fascinated. I have to tell you, as an entrepreneur myself, understanding that I don't have anyone telling me when to go into my business work hours and when to leave, it was really, it shook me. It shook me a little bit. I was just kind of like, oh damn, like, do I do that? Like, would I have that kind of discipline? I agree, Jeannie. Like, yeah, I agree. It's amazing. Like, I was like, I don't know if I'd have that type of work ethic. And here's the thing with network marketing, you do not do it 9 to 5. You don't. Like most network marketers who are full-time will tell you they do not do this for 8 hours a day. They don't, as 7 if you include lunch break. Like, they don't. They don't do it for, and then here's the thing. They may do it maybe one day or a couple of days out of the month. It does seem like they're putting in like maybe 8 hours, 9 hours, sometimes 10 in a day. But maybe that's like a week. And then they're not doing that. I've never heard a full-time network marketer say that they do this for in and out, like 8 hours
40-hour weeks. Yeah, they never say I do 40-hour weeks. Nothing.
In fact, the whole point is so that way you never have to do that and have that lifestyle. Which is one up on Eminem, because apparently Eminem is still doing a 9 to 5. And many network marketers aren't doing that. Wow. Wild.
You know what? It's so funny. So I'm listening to the story, and as I'm hearing you, I actually was thinking the opposite. I thought this person was being critical because they thought he should have been working harder than he was working.
No.
But here's the part that, oh man, one, I want to get into what the deeper distinction you made about why and it making you do, or it being the thing that drives you to do these seemingly tedious tasks that is just a part of building our business in our industry, building a successful team in our industry. But one of the things I actually thought about is I've heard that same statement, if you treated it like your job. And here's the part that really got me when I heard someone say that. Most people, or many people say it, I often think most people hate their jobs. And I've heard, I think it may have been Scott when he at one point said to not think of it that way, because he essentially was saying, because you don't like what you do, because you have to go there, you essentially you BS, like you go there out of out of routine. But you don't do, let's be honest, if you're on here and you work a 9 to 5 and you honestly can say that you put your all into that job,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, think about what our industry is attracting people to. It's the people who are frustrated, who are fed up with their jobs. So in my mind, that whole mindset, I get it. If you really did, if you were the type of person that went to your job and bust your butt and went out. So I think like we think like Eminem. I think about like a guy like Jay-Z. I think about people who, you know, when I'm out prospecting, it's surprisingly, it is the person who says to me, you know, I see this guy selling candy on the corner of a street. And in my mind, I go, you're in front of the bank selling, what are these? Gummies, selling gummies. The
Mm-hmm.
amount of hustle to me that must take, because he's constantly, hey brother, good morning, hey king, how are you, queen? No, 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 no. I mean, to talk about the skill set that you're looking, you know, you're looking for in some sense, right? Obviously, it's all cold market. They already know the numbers will tell you 1 out of 10. So this guy's having to talk to 50 people to make 5 sales of $1 candy. I'll give you 3 for 2. Like, it's that type of hustle. And I think about a person who now knows, hey, when I show up at work at 9, and as long as I don't do anything so bad that they fire me before 5, I'm good today. To Janelle's point, there is nothing like that in our industry.
Mm-hmm.
You know, depending on the level of relationship you have with your upline or your sponsor, or, you know, whoever helped you get involved with the business, you may not get that call. You know what I mean? Like, and imagine if you do have that massive team, you're not getting a call from the whoever is the top in your organization saying, hey Janelle, I saw that you just joined, let's reach out and call 10 people today. Like, you let's go put 3 hours into this. It's interesting because I'm thinking about that same statement, and I think it's the opposite. I wish we didn't think of it like a job and we treated it like our passions.
Passion, yeah.
And the reason why that came up is I've been, and here's my thing with why, my why. The reason why Winston has not yet figured out a good why. I think to myself, what is the thing that I am willing to do? I would sacrifice for it. I would probably upset someone or disappoint someone, but I'm going to do this thing. And for me, it's working out. I will get up early. I can be tired. I can be frustrated with it. I can have, but there's something about that I am willing to go through. I don't know. I don't know. The thing that really I think gets me is I don't know why I'm like that with it, but I wish I could turn that level of
Passion,
focus, yeah, into my
commitment.
business.
It
Yeah.
seems like you've made a commitment too, because like you said, when you don't even want to like go to the gym, but you'll
No,
still
no.
go, right?
Last night I went to bed at 11 something, 4 something this morning. Got up, and for what time? The alarm goes off at 4:30, and tired. I'm gonna go to the gym. And here's the thing that I used to say to myself: when you used to have to go to work at the same time, get up, go, I did it. You don't have to do this anymore. And there was a period in the pandemic where I didn't, and I felt miserable. I
Really?
felt absolutely miserable. I slept until 6. It was like, what do people do? Like, why are you sleeping? It was such a weird, but I
Sorry,
can
I
get up
just
and
want
go.
to point out that he said he slept in until 6.
I know. No, I honestly, someone will say to me like mostly when we're in like trainings, I guess it'll happen then. But it's like, because then most of those nights, like, we're like busy till 9 or 10, and then there's like a dinner or some, you know what I'm talking. Obviously, you know, I've been on training, so there's like a dinner that we go to, and then there's like this whole, like, what was, you know, like what stood out to you tonight, or one of those things. But even when we just came back from our journey, you know, I was up 4 something in the morning to go to the gym before we went to the daily training, and I actually, again, I can do that without someone calling me. Like, think about the thing, guys. Drop it in the comment. I really want to get feedback today, but like, and then for you, Janelle, please think about this for yourself. What is the thing? And it doesn't have to be like working out. It can be, for me, at one point, it was playing video games. Nobody and their mama had to call me to get me. I used to stay up till 1 in the morning. I'd go to sleep, wake up just to play video games. Like, what's the thing that no one has to motivate you to do? Because whatever that is, and that's what I struggle with when it comes to this idea of a why, is because I feel it's easy to do that. It doesn't seem difficult. I talk to people in the gym, man, how long have you been here? And I'm like, 4 hours. And they're like, wait, what? And I'm like, yeah, I got here at 5:30. it's like 9 something. I'm like, yeah. And I'm in my mind, it's like, and I still have an hour of something left to do. And for them, it's this and I'm like, but there's something that I'm sure you would go out. For some people, it's cooking. For some people, it's crocheting or writing or, painting. Like, can you imagine like a good artist? They can sit there all day, right? And just, and for them, it's just like a sense of joy. I have that with the gym. And I wish I could bring that to my business, because then to that point, it doesn't feel. There's some days where I leave at 3 hours and I feel accomplished. There are other days where because I have that same frustration with the business. And to your point, I'm certainly not putting in 8-hour days in there.
Right. Well, what I would say though is that, talking about creatives, Eminem is a creative.
Yeah.
But he's disciplined.
Yeah.
In his crafts, right? And I think that to me was what I got from it. It was like his discipline, just like your discipline to get up every day at 4:30.
Yeah.
It's just like a discipline, and he loves it. Obviously, like he loves what he does. I don't think anybody would deny that, right?
And that's
he was doing what he was rapping for free.
Exactly. Exactly. I love working out. There's no one's paying me to go and talk to people there. Like, even when I used to tell myself that I don't like to talk to people, but I realized that that's not true. Before I ever got paid to be a personal trainer, I was personal training people. And people, interestingly enough, would tell me when I was a real estate agent, I'd be in the gym helping other people. And people would be like, "Oh man, are you a trainer?" I'd be like, "That's a terrible job. Why would anyone want to?" Because I didn't, again, financially, and not to criticize any, obviously, trainer. There are people who are incredibly successful as personal trainers. But in my mind, I didn't see the value in that. But it's something that just seemed natural to me to help people do. But quickly, before I let you answer yours, the aspects that you brought up again about why having a why is important. And please don't misunderstand. I do think having a why is important. One of mine is refusing to quit before having the level of success that I've watched others achieve in this business. It's fairly simple. It's not anything, again, doesn't make me cry, but my ego won't let me quit when I know that regardless of my skin color, my sex, height, I know that there's a person that looks like me who makes money in network marketing, and I would be happy with the income they make. So I refuse to quit until I'm at that skill level, to Janelle's point, in this craft. And that's the only thing that keeps me right now. The one thing that keeps me from, calling our company and be like, "Hey, I'm not doing this anymore." Like, I refuse to allow myself to be the person who, and I love, shout outs to Mark Aceta.
Big shout out to Mark Aceta.
Where he says, and a lot of actually other leaders who share stories of people who, I refuse to let this be my story. You call me, you pitch me on a company, and I say to you, "Wow, I was in that company blank years ago." I heard a story about a guy who's hit the top rank in our company and a young man who had him in his downline, and that guy is no longer in. And in my mind, I think that would be an awful, awful call. I would hate, like, that phone call would be upsetting. Like, if Janelle called me years later, it'd be like, "Hey, Winston, how's everything?" "Yeah, you remember when you quit?" "Yeah, I just hit the top rank." I'd be like, "All right, Janelle, I can't talk to you right now." Like, that would pain me, because it means that she stayed long enough to learn and attract who she needed to. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That's all this is. It's like class, but this isn't like, again, college, where they're like in 4 to 6 years. We don't know. You just don't know in this now. And that's, again, not having that blueprint, I think, lets a lot of people, it makes it easy just to say, "Well, I'll just quit." But to your point, and we're in an industry right now where people are being literally, I found out today about how many people are being fired from their jobs for this vaccination stuff. Won't get into that, but there's so many people who are looking for an opportunity, and within our industry, the door is wide open, the road is there, but not having that sense of, well, in 5 months, like at a regular job, in 3 months, you'll be up for a promotion. You don't know that here, and therefore it's it's easy to go, "Well, it's been 3 months, so I guess it doesn't work."
I think it's a lack of belief.
Well, think about that. Your job could tell you that. How many people have worked at a job who was told they were going to get a promotion, they didn't get the promotion, and they didn't quit? That's what I'm saying.
No. Sorry. Let me be clear. I think the reason why people who are open, right, like they're being hired, right, for whatever reason, and they're open to you would seem that they would be open to an opportunity, but they're like, oh, there's no promise
Yeah.
that I'm going to get the promotion because all of this is based on my own effort. Whereas my job is not based on the effort. It's a job. I show up.
And that right there's my whole point about the 9 to 5.
Right. Well, I was gonna say, I was like, and that's where the belief kicks in. I think people see this and they don't believe they could do it to get the promotion. They're like, yeah, that's not like, I don't think I could do that. I'm the person who just goes into the job and gets paid. I'm not the person who can actually
put in the work.
Right? And like, so to me, it's a belief thing. It's a belief thing. I mean, shout out to Marcusetta again, who showed us the difference between like the 3%ers, the 10%ers, the 67%ers, and all that stuff too, because that was really eye-opening for me anyway. Anyway, so without going into that, because we can get lost into
That's another episode.
Right. That is another episode. Are you a 67%er? Right. I think to your point, like I think it takes there's something about a passion and a discipline, a passion, which is what I think the Y stands for. I have a passion to live a life of freedom. I have a passion to live a life that's where I'm debt free. I know my job can't produce that for me, right? So I have a passion to live a life where I'm debt free. I have a passion to do what I want, when I want, with whomever I want, without anyone telling me when to stop or when to start. I have a passion to make decisions not based on time or money, but to make a decision based on what's best for me and my family. I have a passion for that. And so you can, in my mind, what you said is really key. You can almost interchange passion with why, because that's the thing that's going to keep you going, right? Like that's the thing that's going to get you up at 4:30 in the morning to keep it going. Because for what I don't know what that is, but there's a joy, there's a passion that you receive. Maybe it's endorphins, I don't know, that you receive when you go to the gym. Well, you asked me like, what is my thing? And we were asking people in the comments to like, hey, Brittany, we were asking people in the comments to say like, what is the thing that you can do without anyone telling you to do it? What is the thing that you have discipline for to do without anyone saying? For me, it's reading.
There you go.
For me, it's really is reading. I can get lost in a book, and honestly, it can be a biography. I really love Gabrielle Union right now. She's like on my mind. I thought about it recently, and I was like, actually, she has inspired me to write my own book. When I think about it, holy cow, like. I love her style. I love how vulnerable she is. And she just like tells stories and tells the truth. So we're going to need more wine. Gabrielle Union's book. Please go get it. She just wrote a second book called Do You Have Anything Stronger? I'm definitely going to pick that up myself and read it. But I don't need anyone to tell me to read. We're in a book club, right? We were reading a book called Letting Go by David R. Hawkins. Our next book is You Were Born Rich by Bob Proctor. Like, I don't really need anyone to tell me to do that. I don't need like someone like with a whip being like, I will just do that stuff. I will find the time, even if it's like minutes in a day or whatever, but like I will find the time to read it. Whether it be because I know it's helping me personally, or sometimes it's just like a really good story. Trevor Noah, Born a Crime, another good one. Right? Like we can go on and on with the book recommendations. But the point is, that's the thing for me, that when you ask that question, like that's the thing for me. I also like no one has to tell me to have an adventure. I love exploring and going and exploring new things, but I don't know if that necessarily fits what we're talking about in terms of like not needing, because that isn't something that you necessarily have a discipline for, where I feel like the reading for me is something that has become a discipline in my life that I now do like with discipline.
I think that touches on it, because truthfully, I wonder if the financial side was there, it would support that idea of, hey, Janelle, you want to go to, and you'd be like, sure, like, sure. If the time freedom part kicked in and the financial side was there, you know what I mean? Like not necessarily having to be at a place, well, you know, I can't go because on Tuesday I have this thing with my students. I think you'd be like, sure, you want to go to where? And it may not necessarily be some off exotic. It could literally just be you want to jump in the RV and drive to shoot. Like, why not? Bring
I
Bella.
want to explore that island that's off of Manhattan that they built. Like even that.
I don't even know what that is now.
Oh my God, they built an island off of Manhattan where it's like grass and greenery and like it's a whole thing. We'll talk about it later.
The one with the music. Well, that's perfect. We'll get offline and talk about that. I'm thinking this is a spot I've been. If it's recent, how recent is this?
Like this past summer.
Oh, so then no, I don't know what this is. Okay.
Anyway, so yes, you're right. You can actually build a life towards that as well. I have a friend who wants to build her life so that way every 3 months she goes on a vacation for 2 weeks.
Sign me up.
Right. She wants to build a life like that. And I was like, that's awesome. And so there's a way, right? But that's her why, right? So now she will do things in a disciplined manner to make sure that she creates that lifestyle that looks like that.
Actually, you know what? If that's how we are looking at that, the gym part then comes from being bullied when I was younger for how I looked physically. I don't know about face, whatever. Not being strong and not girls liking athletes. I think the deep pain, because that's what that sounds like. She's obviously not living that life now, and has a desire to live that life. I was going to say, but how there's maybe no pain for you with reading or not being able to read. So
no, I don't think there necessarily has to be a pain, but it's a discipline of time, right? Because like I literally will like.
So you don't have enough time now to do that. So you'd want to. Okay, yeah. Because that's a part of. I've never thought this through all the way, but that must be a reason for it. Because I know that once I started getting in shape, a lot of the stuff I used to struggle with in that area went away.
I think that's a part of growth, right? Like you start to do things that better yourself, and then
and the endorphins, I'm almost positive. Not understanding the chemical side. No, I feel better after workout. I feel great while I'm doing it. Again, the reward isn't always instantaneous, much like our business, but it is certainly worthwhile. The juice is worth the squeeze, as one of our other mentors would say. the fitness juice is definitely worth that squeeze, and we have gone drastically over time, but this has been a really, really good one today.
I was wondering. I was like, I haven't heard.
No. I stopped at like 29 seconds, 5 minutes ago. You were in the middle of something really good, and I didn't know because I know I dominated a lot of it. So finish your last thoughts if you have any. And for anyone, again, if you have one of yours, if you know your why, please drop it in a comment if you feel comfortable to do so. In any area, if it's not just why you do network marketing, why you want to be a good parent, why a good student, whatever that is for you, what pushes you to continue pursuing that when there are many people who, again, drop out of school. There are people who are parents who decide not to continue raising their kids. There's a lot of people who quit on the thing that you have decided that you're going to push through and do.
I would love to hear that. Look, we're going to check this later. So even if you're watching this on the replay, we'd love to know what your why is. We'll make comments. We do read the comments. I'm really excited to hear from you guys. Again, like Winston said, we had an amazing episode last week. And I'm just going to reiterate, if you are one of our community members on Patreon, you got extra juice. You got some extra tea. Rachel went in on like a lot more stuff that you did not get on the YouTube. Yes. So I'm putting that in the comments as well. Please become a community member of ours on Patreon so you can get access to that and all of the other overtimes that we've had. They're all really, really amazing. But it's hot off the press, right? So I just want to make sure that we put that out there. Don't forget to subscribe, to like, to share this video. If you feel like what we talked about added a lot of value to you, please, please, please share this video with others in your network. That's how we all better ourselves, right? When the tide rises, all boats rise.
And guys, thank you for this week. We're going to definitely have another amazing guest next week. I'm going to let you guys know in advance. So you definitely want to set your calendars to that. Next week, the first Say That in October, we're going to have an amazing guest. All the guests this season, I already know it's going to be just one after another, just really some really powerhouses. And if you are a Patreon member who's watching this first half, and you have somebody you want us to interview, somebody you want us to bring on the show, please, guys, comment, reach out, email us, and we will definitely make that happen for you. And we appreciate each and every one of you guys that watch us live each week. But we're out of here today. So, as always,
remember you deserve the good life. Say that.
Have an amazing day, you guys. Happy hump day!